Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is Wednesday, and we are checking out Bitcoin. We are looking at this extremely complicated range according to Blockchain Backer. That's what he believes, that this is an extremely complicated range, and he was humbled by the range, and he's still trying to figure it out. And I have to agree, it is pretty complicated, but at the end of the day, if we use some tools, we can figure it out. And just by looking at it, it's kind of hard to tell. What we have to do is we have to count the waves, right? Because the market moves in fives and threes, right? You get a 5-wave move to the upside, you get a 3-wave pullback. That 3-wave pullback can either continue the 5-wave move, continue the trend, or we can correct back up in 3, and then correct back down in 3 or 5, and then go up. And then that becomes a more complicated 3-wave pullback, more complex, right? So that's kind of what we have here, is something a little bit complex. And I'm not sure why, but we have that same structure back over here. I don't know if he just kind of missed that, but maybe somebody could tag him and say, hey, dude, what about this structure? You know, it looks exactly, I mean, not exactly, but it looks pretty close to what is going on right now, right? It's just a little bit smaller. You can see we have an impulse and we have an A, B, C, right? We test the top of the range, the bottom, back to the top, back to the bottom, continue higher. Same thing here. We have an impulse, we test the top of the range, the bottom of the range, back to the top, back to the bottom, right? We have that 3-wave pullback, 3-wave pullback. Let's continue higher. Let's continue higher. So that's kind of how I look at it. To me, it's not super complicated. I think the reason why he thinks that is because it's a little bit choppy, but that's okay because choppy waves are still, they still have directional bias, right? So this one was more linear. You can see it back over here, totally different time frame. Where'd you go? Right here is more linear, right? Um, so we kind of had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty straightforward. We had this move up, and then we kind of drizzled our way back down like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it wasn't super hard. It was just very big. It was very big. This took from April all the way to like October, November. So it took quite a long time. The reason why is because summer is just brutal for crypto in a lot of ways. So we were ranging in there. So I'm looking at this as basically a flat. What this is, right? It's a very straightforward flat. It's a 3-wave move. And then down here we sort of had some of a sideways base. We had a 1 2 1 2, and then we continued higher. We had a reverse flag, right? We flagged out. Usually we come up here, we flag out like this. This is a reverse flag. It's more like a running flat, sort of a series of running flats. Very bullish, right? You push up to the upside, and then you come down, right? You take the high, and then we slam it to the low. That's an expanded flat, right? These are all things that I like to teach. These are structures that we talk about all the time. So consider subscribing to the channel, and I think I think you're going to get some benefit out of a lot of these structures that are pretty much explainable. Now, does that mean I know exactly where it's going to go? It's going to break to the upside? No, we could still go down. And you can say, well, how's that? If it's a 3-wave move, we should go up. Well, here's the thing. We could have, every structure is a 3, right? Or most structures are 3. So, but the last wave, the third leg, could either be 3 or 5. So we don't know if it's going to be 3 or 5, right? So you could see here, this was very complicated. Right here, boom, boom, boom. Right, to the untrained eye. But once you notice it, it's not that, it's pretty easy. So this structure right here, boom, boom, and boom, That is an expanded flat. We were just looking at that same structure right here. So if you take this structure here, that's that first move, right? So there's your 3 right there. Okay, so we're going to put 3 right there. And then the next structure is another 3. And this 3 is also a flat. You can see it came up in an A, and then it came down in a B, and the B actually took the high, or took the low of the A. And then it came up, and then it took the high of the C, or the A, I'm sorry. So we have an A, B, C, right? So we have 3 waves down, and then we have 3 waves up. So what are we looking for now? Now we're looking for either 3 or 5. Now we have 3. 1, 2, 3. So technically it could be finished. We could be done. The 3-wave move is done. W, X, Y, complete. This is a 1. We're flagging out for a 2. And we're about to go up into the 3rd. Maybe flag out again for a 4. Maybe get a diag, a 5, an A, B, C, and then a complete breakout. Right? That's one way you can look at it. The other way is, well, what if this is not 3? What if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to work our way down for 5? That could also happen. And it may be even likely to happen. The reason why is look at all of these support. I mean, you got super tested down there versus up here, you only have 2 tests, right? So there's a lot of confluence down here at the lows. And when that happens is they're organizing liquidity, right? They are basically testing those waters for what they're about to do later on. Now, it could be true, it could be false, right? But essentially, it's all they're searching for liquidity. They're what they do. The market makers, they build the range, and then they siphon off as much money as they can. But then when they know the range is going to break, then they need to fill their bags, right? And the only way you fill your bag is if you break that liquidity. You get a liquidity grab, because think about it. Look at all of these areas down here. If you break that, everyone and their mother is going to go short, right? They're going to, oh, see, the top is in. We're going short, right? And then all that liquidity enters the market. And then the whales soak it up. And then they take it long. And then they get wiped out, right? And what you have is an A, a B, and a C. Basically an A, B, C. There's your A, B, C right there. Boom, boom, boom. 3-wave move right there. And then you break out. So, number 1, we have 3, 3, 3. We're complete. We're building a base. Maybe we can tag the low, maybe break out, play around a little bit, but then eventually go. Pretty much we're done. We're just waiting to get going. Or number 2, same thing. We have 3, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then we go. So those are the 2 options. Those are the 2 main ideas. I don't know which ones are going to be, right? That's why we have to kind of wait and see. But right now, I don't see us going down. I think we could be finished. The reason why is because if we look even closer than that, right? If we look closer than that and we zoom in much closer, and we study what's going on right here, most people will look at that and go, I don't know what the hell that is. That looks insane to me. That looks just like a bunch of chop. And most people don't even want to attempt to try to figure it out. But it's really not that hard. The reason why is because you don't look at all the choppy. You're just looking for the directional area. So a good way to do it is you take a line here. So basically, anybody can identify where's the top of the wave. Well, here's the top of the wave right here. So we're going to put a line. Okay, now where's the bottom of the wave? The bottom is going to be either here or here. So we'll just say it's there. Okay, that's the bottom of the wave. Okay, now go back to the top. Now where's the top? The top of the wave is going to be right here. Perfect. Now where's the bottom? We're going to go all the way down to the bottom. There it is right there. There's your 3-wave move. See, I didn't need to look at all the crap in the middle, right? That stuff is designed to confuse you. That stuff is, you're playing basketball with, you know, LeBron James or something, and he's trying to juke you out or whatever. This is just a juke, right? They're juking you out. Go back, go back, go back. Boom, 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 boom. Look here, not over here, right? But in reality, it's one move down, right? You just draw a line from here to here. That whole thing is one. Draw another line from here to there, right? So you have a three-wave move. Okay, pretty simple, right? We didn't have to count like some guys are going to go 3 and then they're going to go 3 and then they're going to go 3 and then they're going to go up, and then you don't need to do that. You just got to look at the whole wave and connect the dots, right? Everybody played connect the dots, or at least I did back in kindergarten. So it's pretty simple, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to play out the way you think it is, right? It's still very risky. It's all about probabilities. This is not financial advice. Anything I say is not financial advice. This is just all my opinion, speculation, basically trying to put the puzzle pieces together in an attempt to figure out what it could keyword potentially be, right? So, all right, so what could it potentially be? Well, let's get rid of that. Let's go up to the 4-hour chart here. All right, so, and that also removes a lot of the noise when you go up in the time frame. So what we see here is you could say that this is an impulse, and you could say this is a three-wave pullback right there. Boom, 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 right? So, but then we also have an impulse up here. So the big question is this finished, right? So for example, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it 1, 2, 3 and we're done? Well, if we look closely, you could see we have an impulse that came up, right? And then what followed that impulse is we had a three-wave pullback. Boom, boom, boom. So to me, either this is going to come up and be a more complicated 3 and then come down and flush the low and then go up. But to me, I think that would take a little bit too long. But you never know. It depends how it goes up. If it gets violently rejected, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly, right? We just have to play it wave by wave by wave. So, but in my opinion, it looks really good right now, right? I like the impulse and I like the three-wave pullback. You got an impulse and a three-wave pullback. And you're basically flagging out in here, right? You're drizzling down, drizzling down, drizzling down. So if we flip the chart upside down, it actually is even a little bit interesting, a little bit better too, because you could see here, look at this. We had a three-wave move and we got rejected. We slammed down, right? And then once we slammed down, we came back up in 3, and look right here, we got rejected pretty strongly. So to me, we're going to go down, which in reality, remember the chart is upside down. Reality, we should go up, right? So that's the way I'm seeing it. I have to disagree with Blockchain Backer a little bit. I don't think it's too incredibly complicated, but he's the king, right? He's way beyond my level as far as structures and fractals go. But for me, I'm more along fractals and structures, but also using Elliott wave to sort of break down the structures, right? So I use, he's more of the fractal king. I'm more of the Elliott wave kind of guy, and I can kind of combine the two and make it make sense, right? So yeah, it does look very complicated and it does look bearish, right? You come up here, it's starting to look a little bit choppy. It looks like it wants to be like an inverse or a head and shoulders and then break down. That could be a possibility. Or we could come up here and take the high and then come down, and we have 3 drives to the high, 1, 2, 3. But I don't like that because these highs and this high is pretty much equal, right? Which is a good thing. We don't want this high to be up here because then you have this, we could come up here, you get 3 drives to the high and then come down. So to me, I'm looking at it like this structure right here, right? So ABC, right? So what happened after the C wave? Well, you could see this one was actually 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we made a base, we came up, and then look what happened. We slammed back down to the low. But if you notice, we went down in 1, 2, 3 waves, right? So, and then we had a 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I take this fractal, right? If I take this fractal right here and I overlay it, notice right here, it actually is the same amount of time pretty much. But that's not what I wanted to show you. If I overlay it with this, you could see it's way, way, way too big. So we have to shrink it down, guys. We have to shrink it down. Okay. So when I shrink it down, now it looks pretty damn good, does it not? So I'm just kind of a little bit confused. Like, I don't know if, BCB's definitely the #1 guy I like to follow. And I think everyone should follow him. I think he's my favorite. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say it. He's my favorite YouTube crypto guy. But you know, he just can't get his thumb on this, and I don't know why. But I mean, to me, it looks so similar. Like we just took the fractal right here, and it's also coming from a second wave, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you go sideways. All right, let's look up here. This, to me, looks like 1, 2, 3, and this is a wave 4, right? So it's either in a wave 2 or in a wave 4. This one was in a wave 2. This is in a wave 4. It makes sense, right? And also, again, when you look at it from a fractal perspective and you shrink it down, it looks really similar, like really similar. Let's see if I could get it even more lined up. Not quite. But okay, let's look a little bit closer down here. And let me raise this up a little bit. Okay, so now when we raise it up, it actually looks really good. Look it. We came down, we went sideways, we hit the high, and then we came back down. We went sideways, and we hit the low. We went sideways, and look at this. We hit the low perfectly, right? And then what happened after that? We had the 1, 2, 1, 2. So here's what I'll say. If this week and next week we start developing the 1, 2, 1, 2, or something, you know, it doesn't have to be a 1, 2. It could be just a 1, 2. It could be anything really, ascending triangle, inverse head and shoulders, you know, some type of 5-wave structure. Then I'm gonna get really excited. Then I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, now I'm convinced the low is in. We're not gonna go down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 3, so we're set, right? And then we should go up and hit one more wave to the upside. So, but yeah, I mean, I've gotten so many fractals. I've shared his work a lot on my channel because I respect it so much. He's helped me tremendously, identifying fractals and things like that. But, you know, for some reason, this one isn't really clicking. But to me, it's clicking on all cylinders because I think it's very identifiable. This is exactly what I believe is happening here. Now, does that mean we're going to go and break out to 200,000? No. That could just ease. All this means is that we should come back to the top, to the least, right? Maybe even break the top. That's just the base, right? Now, if we want to go higher than that, just because the fractal was printed doesn't mean it's telling us we got to go way, way higher. We could just go up and hit the high and then be done, right? Because he shared another fractal right here. I mean, this is his XRP fractal. I mean, he's really good at identifying these things. But here's the fractal I wanted to share you. Okay, so this one was a really good fractal that he found. Shout out to Blockchain Backer for finding this. This is a really good fine because this is like on the 4-hour chart way back in the day. So he had a hunt for that. He had to go hunting for that. But, you know, this one's kind of like staring you right in the face of what it is, like comparing this. So I don't know. It's just kind of, maybe if someone just showed him, he would say, oh, yeah, now I get it. You know, it makes total sense. Maybe I'll go and post it under his Twitter and maybe he'll see it. I don't know. He doesn't even know I exist. Anyways, look at this. We have this three-way pullback here, three-way pullback, right? We shoot up, we pull back, we shoot up, we pull back. We have this ABC here, same thing, ABC. We break the high, we flag out in here, we flag out, and then we go up and shoot the top, and then it's over, right? So if that's the case, then we should break to the upside, right? We should break to the upside. So this is our quote unquote complicated, extremely difficult range. And we should go up and hit the high, right? So if that's the case, then this should be an A, B, C, and we should go up and we should come up here and hit the high and then come down and then retrace, and we should get some kind of alt season in here, right? So because I really believe we will break out. You know what the other reason is? You say, well, we don't know if it's going to break up or break down. No, I believe it's going to break to the upside. The reason why, right, is because it's in a fourth wave. And we talked about this, right? Look at over here. Look at this. I'm going to paint it really clear. So here's your A, B, C. A, B, C. We got that, right? And then we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's what we need. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it should be finished. You say, well, why should we get that wave? Because if you look at this wave right here, we don't have 5. Look at this. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? We go up for a 3, and then we have an ABC for a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's your wave 5? You don't have it. You do not have a wave 5, but you do have a impulse and you do have a three-way pullback, which significantly increases the probability of us coming up and breaking out, getting a wave 5. Now, does that mean we're going to do it today, tomorrow, next week? Maybe, maybe not. But here's the thing. Does that also mean that the low is in? No. Again, we could come down like this, A, B, and C. We could come down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and break the low, get everybody bearish. Oh my God, it's over. The bear market is here. We're going down, 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 down. Because the whole masses, the whole narrative is going to be bearish, right? The sentiment is already in the gutter. But what's happening is a liquidity grab, and then we go and break the high. A, B, C, and then we get our fifth wave, right? Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the big thing. If we break the low and we come up and we get rejected, and then we come back down and then we get rejected again, then that's going to be a completely different thing. Then it's most likely the top is in and we got a lot of, or at least for a while, right? Because if we come down and get rejected, we're probably got to come back down to 70K and retest some of this area. So this could be like, 1, 2, 3, and then we go up 1, 2, 3 later on in the year, right? So like maybe July. And then we go down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like sometime in September, October. And then October through December, that's when we have our final blow off top, right in the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2026. Right? So this would be the bearish scenario, right? Basically what it would be is kind of like a 1 and then a 2. And then we would shoot up for a 3, 4. But it would really mean extreme bullish prices later on, much later on, right? I just don't really see that though. Because I see this being 1, 2, 3, 4. And then now we're in wave 5. Now, could wave 5 be finished? I don't think so. I don't have 5 waves here. Now, you could say that this was the 5th wave here. You could say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was 5. And the 5th wave was truncated. Here's why I don't like that, though. I mean, you could say that, yeah, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's your 5th wave right here, and it's finished, right? I just don't really like that a lot. I mean, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it did take the high here. Maybe it's finished, right? But if it is, then, you know, we want to see another A, B, C in here, right? And then we can come up in 3 and maybe take the high later on, and then it be finished, right? So there's still a lot of unknowns, but those are the kind of the back burners, the sideline ideas. The main idea is that these two structures are very, very similar, extremely similar. This one's more complicated, it's more choppy. But just because it's more choppy doesn't mean it's more complicated. But in this case, it kind of does. But it's really the same structure. So I just don't know why some people can't really. Maybe I just got to show them. I don't know. But that's what I think. And maybe I could be wrong, right? But that's what I believe. So what now? Well, I haven't been paying attention a lot to Bitcoin, so I wanted to take this time and really concentrate on Bitcoin and show you guys what I'm thinking here. So if we look closer, what about the small time frames? Again, you got this 3-wave move down, you got this impulse, you got a 3-wave move down, it's kind of drizzling down, 1, 2, 3. If this comes up in 4 and then we get 5, then I'm not going to like it, right? Because then I'm thinking 3 and then another 5 down. So, do we have any bullish divergence at all here? Not really. Not really. Let's see on the smaller time frames. Yeah, on the smaller, let's see the 2-hour chart. No, it's really on the 1 hour, so it's not really compelling. But from there to there, we do have it technically, right? So it's okay. It looks good. It looks okay right now. To me, I see, look at this. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 3, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To me, it looks finished. So then now let's pay attention to this wave here. And we look closely. Do I have 5? It kind of, I mean, it really looks like 1, 2, 3, but you could technically say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then now we want to flag out like in an ABC, get like a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder, build a little bit of a base here, consolidate, flag out, and then break out. I mean, that's kind of the idea there. So you could see we're building a base here. And you can see this right here was a deviation. It was like a liquidity grab. And then we came down and we quickly came back up. So that to me is bullish. So I think this low will hold. I feel like this low will hold all week. We'll see. I could be wrong, but we'll see. So anyway, that's Bitcoin. Pretty much looking at this as this fractal here as I line it up. I mean, this would be a good thumbnail here. Let's see. Let me try to get it right about there. And then let me grab a little bit of a screenshot here. There we go. And if I kind of take it up here. Whoops. Come on now. There we go. You can see it fits really nicely. So sometimes I like to take it up. And you can see here's the flat right there. Right? You got the chop, chop, chop. You got the chop, chop. This is the daily chart, so it's going to be less chop. But let me go down to the 6 hour, get a little bit more definition. And yeah, you can see the chop there, right? And then actually you could see a kind of that spike there, and then a hit to the high. And then you can see that little bit of a channel right in there. And then bam, we break through it. And then we came down and we spiked the high, and then we came down, went sideways, hit the low, came down, went sideways, hit the low. Look at that. And there's your flat right there on the other time frame, or on the other side of the chart. So everything looks pretty solid, if you have to ask me. So from there, I would say, okay, you got a 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's get up here and flag out. Maybe we get a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then come up here and then flag out. Something along those lines. That's a good screenshot. So anyways, that's Bitcoin. I wanted to just take, half the video and look at Bitcoin. All right, now let's get to the altcoin. Let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to the exciting, super fun stuff. I'm going to start right off the bat with Monero. Monero's just been unstoppable. And it's really like, let me just put on THETA. And I hate doing this, but you can see, like, look at the difference, guys. Not just THETA, but I could put up Filecoin. I could put up any coin you pick. It doesn't matter. They're all pretty much down. But Monero is still creeping up. So that doesn't mean that the other coins can't come back. It's just in this moment in time, one's stronger than the other. Right? Now look at the monthly chart. The monthly chart is I'm not going to spend much time. The monthly chart is extremely bullish. Look at that hammer candle on the monthly. You got 9 days to go. And you got a super bullish hammer candle, right? You got an engulfing candle breakout, right? Go to the 2-week, right? We just had the highest 2-week close in Monero's history. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we had the highest 2-week close going all the way back to February of 2022. That's what, 3 years? So quite some time there. Man. And then this 2-week close, well, let's go to the weekly now. So now we have a weekly candle that's about to close, the highest weekly close since going back to April of 2022. So again, 3 years basically of, and this is coming from the largest liquidation event in crypto history. And Monero is already back to the highest weekly close. Like, come on. Like, you see this wick right here? That was the biggest liquidation in crypto history. And look, it didn't even affect Monero. And it still had a higher low. Basically, it's stronger than XRP during that time. So, guys, I would not sleep. And this is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. But I'm just telling myself, dude, don't sleep on this, man. I mean, I think because I liked high probability. Could HBAR give me a bigger return? Yes. Could XRP give me a bigger return? Yes. Can ADA or XLM or Algorand, those are the ones I like. Could those give me a bigger return? Absolutely. But this chart in particular is all about high probabilities, right? So to me, if I could pick what's the most highest probability, it would be XRP and Monero would be the highest probability of getting a bigger breakout, right? Now, does that mean breaking the all-time high? I mean, I think so. I really do. I mean, we have a beautiful rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went sideways for 2-3 years. We broke out. We back tested. Highest weekly close ever. The market sentiment is down. The market is a little bit weak across the board, but some of them are strong. Monero is actually very strong. Now, is it pumping out 20% there, 50% there, 100% there? No. But what is it doing? It's posture. The posture is bullish. And you don't want to wait for Monero to blast up here 50% and then say, okay, yeah, now I agree it's bullish, but by that time it's probably too late, and then somebody gets in, and then we come all the way back down when we back test, and then we go up, right? So it's kind of like, you got to kind of place your bets now and know what you want. Now, is it possible we could keep going, or this could come down? Yeah, and I've talked about that, right? For example, and I don't think so now, because we would have had to have done it before, right? We have three, and then we have three, and it's supposed to come down here. So I don't like that color. There we go, blue. Boom, boom, boom. Right? That was our flat that we wanted to see. And technically we got the flat. Let me go down to the smaller time frame so we could see it a little better. Right? So we have three, and then we have three. And basically we have 3, 3, 3. That's our WXY. That's a flat. It's a running flat, super bullish. And then we had this 1, 2, super bullish. And then we creeped all the way up, reverse flag. It looks like we're billowing up to the top here. Looks like an ascending triangle, right? Higher highs, or no, higher lows, right? About to get higher highs, highest weekly close in a couple years. I mean, how many things do we need to prove that it's bullish? I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to break out in order for people to say, oh, yeah, okay, now I see it. No, but you want to get in before that, So, but here's the risk right here. Here's the risk. This could be a bigger flat. For example, we could be 3, this could be 3, and this could be 1, 2, and then 3 down like this, right? So boom, boom, boom. It's a big flat. A, B, and then C. We have to come down here and swipe the lows, take the liquidity out right here, because there's your support line. Take the liquidity and then go up. That is a real possibility. Now, as an investor, do I wait for that? Or do I buy it now with the expectation of it going up? But if I buy it now and we have to come down here, it's going to suck. Well, that's just the way it's got to go, right? So again, in my last video, I said, just keep working at your job, stack your checks, and for me, it's all about just earning paychecks as much as you can and saving as much as you can, bring your debt down as much as you can, and buy as much crypto as possible for me, right? I'm not saying for you to do that, but for me, that was my whole strategy. Just buy as much crypto as possible. Now, if we have to come back down here, if let's say I buy a lot and we come back down, oh well, am I going to get freaked out and sell it? No, because I know it's most likely going to go back up because the flat is complete. But I just don't really know about that. It doesn't look like that. What it looks like to me is actually kind of a variation of what XRP did. Now check this out real quick. And then we're going to move on to XRP. And we're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire here. Let's see if we can knock this out quickly. Bitstamp. And then we're going to take everything off the screen. And then we're going to go right here. We're going to go down to let's go to the 8-hour chart. And then let's go back in time to right here. Okay. So I don't know why, but it gives me reminiscence of what happened over here. Right. So you kind of have, you're kind of creeping and creeping and creeping. And then you kind of go sideways and you're creeping, and then you break out. Same thing here. You kind of go sideways, you're creeping up, kind of going sideways in here, just like you were in here, and then break out, right? And if you really wanted to see it, maybe even a little bit closer here, you can kind of see boom, boom, right? Now, you could say that's right here. You could say that's right here. It's not a really good fractal, but it's the point of what I'm trying to say here is the resistance, and the way it's kind of creeping up, pushing, like it's, you know what I mean? it's fighting, right? It's really wanting to push higher, you know, especially like in here. You can see every time we get knocked down, we came right back up and then we went sideways here. Now, if we look at this, you know, it's the same. It's not necessarily the same structure or even the same kind of fractal, even though it's the same thing. But it just kind of gives me reminiscence of, you know, the quality of the wave, the behavior of the wave is kind of the same, right? So, you know, you get knocked down, come right back up. Get knocked down, come right back up, right? And then you're sort of just creeping up here. You're just kind of creeping up here. And look what it did right before it creeped out, right? You had this little flag in here. Let's see, right before you broke out, you had this 3, 3, and then 3 here. So boom, boom, it was a big running flat, you know, but really it's kind of like you're sort of, you know, you're kind of flagging out in here. Well, guess what? That's exactly what we're doing right now. We're flagging out. So maybe we break out. I mean, this thing could literally break out tonight, guys, or tomorrow. Or, I mean, it's literally, it could happen at any moment, guys. Now, for XRP, I think it's going to take a little bit longer, but I think Monero could literally happen at any moment. All right. So that's why I'm constantly going to talk about it. I'm constantly bringing it up. Nobody on crypto Twitter, nobody in YouTube is talking about Monero, even though to me it's one of the most bullish looking charts as far as probabilities go. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to give you 100x or 50x or maybe even 10x, but the point is it's bullish. So the only way that this thing could be bearish is if we come back below this line. If we break this line and we come up and get rejected, then I'll throw in the towel and I'll say I was wrong. It's over. But until that day, I'm going to stick with my guns here and I'm going to say this is a beautiful flat, right? And same thing here. You got a flat there. You got a flat there. And then you got a double bottom. You got a double bottom here. You came up, you flagged out, and now we're kind of flagging out in here. Reverse flag, right? So what would be the target here? How would I measure that? Well, really, I don't like measuring it there. What I would do is I would just take a Fibonacci line from here. You're looking at about 700 to 800 bucks. That's not the right one. So I'm looking at minimum 770 up to $1,800, $2,000. So really between like 700 and 2 grand. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Realistically, you're looking at probably right in there. Right? But we don't know. This is only this is linear scale target. So it's not like they're major targets. Right? And if you look at this structure here, if we look at Bitcoin, look at this, guys. This whole thing, let me actually make it bigger here. Okay? And then let me just put that up a little bit. Let me get rid of that. So this right here is actually what this is right here, guys. We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. That's exactly what's going on right here, but it's literally 3 times as big, or at least 2 times as big, right? So if we take a Fibonacci level and we come down right here, if this is the same structure, then where was the high? Where did it go? Well, if we come down here, this is not going to be the right chart, I think. But no, we went up to basically the 4.236 to the 3.272. Yeah, so let me just put it on here. Now I can do it from here. kind of doesn't matter, but basically Bitcoin went from here between these two numbers right here. So between $1,500 and $1,800, that's where I think Monero can realistically go. Between $1,500 and $1,800. That is my target. That is my big grand slam target. Now, could it go higher than that? Absolutely. But that's going to give me, it's not life-changing money, but it's going to give me between 6, 7, and 8x. Hey, I will take it, especially in this market right now. You know, altcoins are not doing too good, you know, but some of them are, and some of them are going to get a lot better. But man, I just love this chart. It just looks like it's super primed, guys. I can't emphasize that enough. Now watch, it could be completely wrong and then it goes to 0. It's possible. You never know. Don't buy it because I'm bullish. You gotta, if you want it, you gotta have your own conclusion of what you think. Because I could be wrong, you know. And I don't want you to make a decision based off my mistake. You know what I mean? But just, you know, I think what really solidified it for me was right here. So once we broke out, I was like, okay, you know, that was great. That was step one, right? Well, step one was a three-way pullback. That was the first sign. Step 2, consolidation. Step 3, we had the breakout. Step 4, the most important step, is coming down and backtesting it and holding it. Step 5, continuing to go higher. And then step 6, look at this big wick right here. You see that big wick? We came all the way down and we retested the lows and we instantly got bought right back up to the close. And then now this candle is trading above that candle. I mean, everything is firing on all cylinders saying this thing is bullish. Again, the risk is, could this be a flat and then go up? That is the only risk that I see, and it's possible. So I wouldn't go in 100x long or even a 10x long. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you should have got in already. You know, the only way I would go very hardcore 10x long is if we did come back down here. Right? But I'm already long. So let's go. All right. That's Monero. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but it really needs the attention because of where it is. It's very exciting of what it looks like. So let's get to XRP and let's see what she's doing here. So yeah, so if you compare Monero to XRP, I mean, XRP actually looks bearish compared to Monero because XRP already blasted off, right? Monero's kind of like right in here. It's like creeping and it's about to, right? So let's look closely here. To me, it actually did exactly what we thought it would do. Like literally, which was what? Come down and backtest this level, right? So we broke out and we came back and we backtested that level. That's exactly what we talked about, right? So I gave two ideas. I said either this is going to flag out, hit the high, and then come down in 3 and then go up, or this is going to come down and we're going to backtest, right? This could be a 1, 2, 3, and we could get even lower and test in here, right? So we have like 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down, and that becomes 1, and then W, and then X, and then Y, and then we go up, right? And that would allow us to retest these lower lows. But that's really about it. Or maybe we're finished and that was it. And now, you know, this is going to come up here, flag out a little bit, and then break the high and then continue. So those are the two options that I see with XRP. Right? Now, bearishly, we can actually, the most we could go down is you take this whole wick right here and you cut it in half. That could still be a possibility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know. coming down here, like an A, B, and a C. As opposed to a 333, you're going to get a 335 and then come down and then go up. But yeah, those are basically it. And if we come down here and then we get rejected and we can't get back up, and then we start coming down, and then then it's going to completely change, right? But as of right now, it looks insanely bullish to me. The reason why is because we have an expanded flat. We have a big impulse, right? We have a move down, we have a move up, and then we have a move back down. So A, B, C, right? And now we're building a base, we're building structure, we're trying to work through our retracement levels, and then eventually we should break out. Again, not financial advice, I could be wrong, but the way I look at it is I think we got more upside to go. Because I look at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now I'm looking for 5. Just like Bitcoin, I'm looking for 5, right? So Bitcoin still needs a 5th wave. XRP still needs a 5th wave. All right. So basically that's it for XRP. I mean, there's really nothing else there except, we're bullish. We're doing, and that's fine. When I don't spend a lot of time on a coin, and it's good, right? Or at least in some cases. Now, all right, now let's go. Now, XRP is another category. Now, when you look at ADA, HBAR, XLM, Algorand, they're all in the same exact category. Exactly the same. And Chainlink, they're all exactly the same. Which is what? Which is a big impulse and a big three-way pullback. They're exactly the same as far as how they go. Right? Now, we're looking at ADA here. It's kind of like XRP, right? But instead of the expanded flat, you have a regular ABC. So we have an A, and this comes up an expanded flat, and then we come down here. That's XRP. This is ADA. So you can see it. The structure is a little bit different, but it's really the same. I really like this consolidation. It looks really good. We're testing. We're not going up in a channel and a bear flag. We don't like bear flags, right? We don't want this to be going like this because they break down. We want the channel to go down, or we want the channel to be flat, but we don't want the channel to be going up, right? So this is good, this is good, this is bad. And this is what we have, which is this one, which is good. So we're good. You could see here very clearly we have an impulse, right? We have 3 waves down, we have 3 waves up, and then we have 1, 2, 3 waves down. So we have a WXY. It's perfect right there. And then we have an impulse. We have a 1, 2, and this could be a 1, 2, right? And we're kind of flagging out here, just kind of like it looks exactly like, or not exactly, but it looks like Bitcoin right here. Like, look at Bitcoin, the structure we were just looking at right here. Let me go to the 12-hour or the daily chart. This structure right here. So you could see right there, A, B, C. Same thing here. This could be A, B, and we still have to come all the way back down here. Not too bad. For C, retest the lows down here. Right? We could come all the way back down and retest these lows, build that base right in here. Same thing over here, and then break out. Right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Same thing with Bitcoin over here. Right? A, B, C. A, B, C. So, but we're not all the way down here yet. So we have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. So, yeah, let's see. We got a little bit of a 3-way move there. I don't think it's finished though. I'm not convinced we're going to break out right now. I think we need a, you kind of got a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder here. You broke down. Now you're retesting it as resistance. We can either go sideways or come down here and retest the lows. Probably the best thing to do is come down and retest some of the lows first. So that's ADA. Pretty simple. Say Filecoin, much different looking chart. Filecoin's more like Theta. It's pretty down in the dumps right now, but it's okay. And same thing with Matic, pretty much down in the dumps. You could see, let me just talk about Filecoin, Matic, and Theta. So you could see this could be, like our bear flag. Remember we were just talking about that. See how it flags up and then it hits the low. So we have a low, right? Or we have a bottom, a double bottom, a triple bottom, right? So if this can hold, we also have an impulse and a three-way pullback. Look at the three-way pullback. So as long as we hold in here, I'm looking at major, major upside. Now, could we break the low? Yeah, if we did break the low, then we want it to be a liquidity grab, right? Because then I would look at it like 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5, right? Breaking this low here, grab that liquidity, and then shoot up, right? That could totally be an option. So that's for Matic. And it's the same thing for Filecoin, really. Same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't think it's going to break because look how big that wick is. It's pretty big, and we're still, we could come down here, retest that wick 50%, and then come back up. So I still feel like we're completing the bottom. All of these prices down here, in my opinion, are bullish, are good buying opportunities. These are really, really good buying opportunities, in my opinion. Now, some of them might be better than others. All right, now let's look at Theta. Now, Theta is still good because when you look at it, Theta, you could still see an A, B, C, right? You got 3 waves. I think Theta is great. You got 3 waves up. You got 3 waves down. So what comes next? 5 up or 3 up. So it's all about, we have to wait for that. So, let's get a little bit of structure in here. Let's build a little bit of a base, and then let's start going back up. That's how I see it. Now, does that mean we have to break the low? I mean, we could break the low, but even if we did, I still think there's a lot of upside, right? So this could be, again, 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4, and then we come down in 5. We get bullish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. We build a base, and then we start going up. That is the most, to me, that's the bearish scenario, but it's a realistic scenario. And even if we do come down, it's still bullish overall. I still see major upside coming. So it's all about, we have to finish this. To me, it doesn't look completely finished. I mean, we do have a big pump, and we do have a 3-way pullback. So this could be a 1, and this could be a 2. And now we're building a little bit of a base here, and then let's go up for a 3. And this could be a bigger 3. For example, 1, 2, 3, and then we go 1, 2, 3 down, and then we retest the lows, and then we go up in 5. Right? That could be a possibility as well. So, but what would be better is if we had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flag out for 4, and then we go up in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we flag out at the high, and then we go for it. Go for the breakout. So it looks really good, but we could still have some more downside. Yes, Theta's been going down ever since December, right? So look how much we've already went down. We went down quite a bit. We were at 335. And we crashed all the way down 66%, right? In the matter of a couple months. So I think she's pretty oversold. And then not only that, but we're also on support here, right? You could see all of this support. That's exactly where we are, right? So I'd expect that to hold. We had a big liquidation event. I want to see it hold in here, and then I want to see it come back up. Hit the like button if you can. I'm about to cross that hour mark. The algorithms get killed after that. But if you can hit the like button, that always helps. So Theta looks good. Now, if you compare that to like Litecoin looks more ready. It looks like it's about to break out. It looks like it's in a better position to break out. But that doesn't mean Theta won't eventually. It's just all about rotations, and we're going to talk about that too in the members video. But essentially, we have this three-way pullback. I mean, Litecoin is actually probably the most beautiful three-wave structure I've ever seen. I mean, it looks insane, right? You have 3 down, you have 3 up, and then you have 3 back down. And if you look at the 3 back down, you can see this wick right here. You can see there's your support. Look at the wick. We came all the way down. We bought right back up. We closed above the support. We shot up, and now we're sort of billowing up against it. So I'm extremely bullish on Litecoin. Litecoin looks really good, guys. It looks amazing. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, and then we have A, and then we come up B, and then we come down C, right? And then we have a 1, and then a 2, right? This could also be a 1 and a 2, and now we're about to go up for our third wave, and it's going to be big. It's going to be massive. Look how big this structure. This is a 2-year, 3-year structure here, right? And we're still in it. So it's massive, guys. It's huge. I mean, you can see how big the structure is, right? So when we break out, it's going to be significant. But we still have to deal with the retrace levels, right? So we're going to have to deal with these levels. Once we get to these levels, then we're probably going to flag out, and then we should go for the big all-time high breakout. And that's what I think is coming. Litecoin is definitely one of my favorites. I think it's XRP, Monero, Litecoin, ADA, HBAR, Algorand, XLM. I mean, they're all looking really good. And THETA, Matic, Filecoin, they're a little bit weaker, but if you know, and I'll explain that more later on, but it's still good. They're still going to be significant because, you know, if I put THETA here, right? Again, you have that 3-way pullback. Just to get back to the retracement levels, you're looking at a 10x, right? So you still got a lot of it, and at the end of the day, it's not about price, it's about percentages. It's all about percentages. THETA can give us more percentages than XRP can, even though XRP is in a better position than THETA. The reason why is because THETA is at a much further distance away from its retracement levels, so it could give us better percentages. Now, if you look at Litecoin, look at the size of Litecoin. Litecoin's base is bigger than the entire chart of THETA. Okay, that is saying something right there. So if we get rid of that, look at this. You can see it's very bullish, right? We come up here, and then we basically go sideways for 7 years, right? So Litecoin's now the biggest base in crypto history alongside Monero, right? And XRP. So you have a move down, you have a move up, 3, 3, 3. There's your 3-wave move right there. So you're 1, you're 2, and then you're building your base in here, right? Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. You go sideways, and then you break out. So that's what I'm expecting. I think Litecoin is in a very good position of a breakout. I think it's coming probably by this spring. So, yeah, I'm expecting the price of Litecoin to get back to between 2 and 3. Let's see, between 230, and 330. So I'll just say between 250 and 350. That's what I'm expecting Litecoin to do. So right now it's at 136. So yeah, I think it's coming. And you can see the three-wave move here. We're going to pump up here. This is what I believe. This is not financial advice. This is what I believe. You know, a lot of people don't believe this. Like a guy I know, Jim, he's pretty bearish. And and he has a right to be, and I can understand why. But from my perspective, I look at it in individual coins, and XR or Litecoin looks really bullish. So, look how big the structure is. I mean, look what it did, right? You have an impulse, you have a move down, you have a move up, and then you have a move back down. We have a three-wave move. That three-wave move took like 5 years, right? So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 5 years. It was a 5-year three-way pullback. And then the next 2 to 3 years were going sideways, right? And then if you look at just what happened in the last 6 months, you could see or even back before that, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, but then more than that, you have a 1 and then a 2, a 3, or a 1, 2, and then a 4. So it looks bullish. I don't know what else to say. So how high can Litecoin go? I mean, we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff, but, I'm looking at easily $700 or $650 to $700, up to even higher than that. So we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, I think Litecoin's in a really good position. I mean, I'm almost liking it more than Monero in a way. Monero and Litecoin are in the same category. Okay? XRP is in a separate category. Bitcoin's in a separate category. And then you have ADA, XLM, ALGO, HBAR. They're in their own category, right? So they're all based off the wave structure. So that's pretty much it. Let's go. Okay, so did we look at HBAR? See, look at HBAR. This is the 4-day chart. Is that a 9 right there? No, it wasn't a 9, but we did have a 9, I thought. Yeah, look at that. So we have a 3-day 9 buy, guys. Not only do we have, this is bullish. Like I said in my last video, this is bullish. We have an impulse, and we have a 3-way pullback. You can't get any more bullish than that. And not only that, but you also have a 9 at the end of the 3-wave pullback. So to me, that's bullish. Very bullish. Wow, look at that, guys. That looks pretty. I should have bought that dip, man. Look at that. That was a good buy right there. So if you look here, you have an impulse, and look at this. You have a 3-way pullback. Basically, it did exactly what we thought it would do, right? Remember when we had the big liquidation? I said, probably the lows in, we're going to go back up. We went back up. And then I said, we're probably going to come back and retest the wick 50%. And we're going to drizzle, 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 drizzle. It's going to feel bad. It's going to feel torturous. It's going to give you time to think. It's going to take forever, but it's going to keep going down, 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 down. It's a psychology trick, right? And then it's going to go down. But what it's doing is it's retesting the lows. And then once it retested, it creates that 3-wave shape, the lows in, build another little base, and then we continue higher, right? Or this is 3. We get another 3 up, and then another 3 down, and then we retest the bottom and then go back up, but I don't think so. So we'll have to wait and see about that. But I really wish I was awake. I was paying attention, because I would have loved to buy that. So we don't have any bullish divergence on there, but we do on the 8-hour, which is good for me. Now you can't really count that wick, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, it looks just like XLM, ADA, right? You have boom, 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 retesting the lows here. I want to see it come back up. And this could come up in 3, or we can get 3 and then 4, and then we can go for 5, right? Or it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we go 3, 4, and then 5. So everything looks solid. Now, as far as targets go, trend-based fib extension from the bottom to the top, back down to the bottom. I mean, we're looking at easily 75 cents. Easily. Probably much higher than that. Right? And we're only at 21 cents. So if we take this and we measure it from where we are here, I mean, a 4.236 is not even it's about a 7x, just about. And it could probably even go higher than that. We'll have to wait and see. We want to get a little bit more wave structure, and we want to see exactly how it starts to form in here. So that's HBAR. Jupiter hit the low. I mean, this was a very risky one, very, very risky, but very high reward if it plays out. You know, you got the little bit of a three-way move here. Very tight range right in here. A lot of tests. So we could come down and get a liquidity grab and then fly up. I mean, this is a very complicated one, but we'll come back to it when it gets a little bit more clear. XLR is another one I'm paying attention to. You got a big impulse. You got a three-way pullback. I mean, this thing can go berserk. And then we talked about THETA. I mean, there's nothing wrong with THETA. You know, it's not as in a bullish posture as some of the other ones, but at the same time, you're at a very key area here of this support line. So as long as we hold that, I mean, we got some massive potential, percentage potential. I mean, think about it. Just to get back to the swing high, I mean, you're looking at about a 2x just to get back to the high. Now, get to the retracement levels, you're looking at a 6 to 7x. You know, up to $10. So, and that's not even counting price discovery, right? Whereas like XRP only has a 2 to 300% potential. THETA could have a 6 to 7 to 10x potential. It's just going to be a lot harder for it to perform. So, what about Ethereum? What's Ethereum doing? Same thing with Ethereum. Looks good. Got a three-way pullback. Nothing there. Chainlink. Chainlink is also bullish because of its three-way move here. And then we weren't even looking at the sequential. XLM also bullish. Look at that. Three-way pullback. And then Algorand, I think it was a 2-day 9, right? Yeah, so it was a 3-day 9. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing really much else to say. Look at SHIB. Oh, yeah, that's another one too. The meme coins. SHIB is also another one I want to keep an eye on here. You know, I would place SHIB in the same category as THETA. So SHIB and THETA are pretty much in the same category. The reason why is because if I overlay them, and they're on different scales, but basically you have this range, you have the breakout, back test, retrace, and then basically you're retesting that area right in here, A, B, C, A, B, C. So they look very, very similar to that. So, yeah, you got that big bullish doji candle down here. Let's look a little bit closer here. 4-hour chart. You got a 3-wave move there. So maybe we get 3 up and then 3 back down and then retest the lows. Because that's always the risk, you know what I mean? Do we have to come back down and retest 50% of that low? Or even 75% of it? We don't know yet, right? So it could get complex, right? It could be 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down. Or it could be 1 and then 2, and then we can just continue up. But usually you create some type of base down at the low, right? Created a base, created a base, created a base, right? So this was like a flat in here, and if this turns out to be a flat, maybe we have more downside, but I don't think that much more downside to go. ICP, same thing. It's working its low out. You got a 3-wave move here. So you got the bottom of the range, the top of the range, test the top, test the bottom. So the more likely scenario is coming back and testing the top first. So we'll see how that plays out, but that'll do it for this video. Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel is also bullish too. I mean, it's still, doing its thing. 3-wave pullback. It's going to take time, but, you got 3 up, you got 3 down. You got this big base here. You broke out. You retest it once. You retest it again. You got a double bottom here. Let's build a base and let's go. That's the way I see Theta Fuel. AVAX, same thing. 3-wave move, go. Aave. Flagging out here. Looking for upside. I haven't looked at some of these meme coins in a while. Near 3-wave pullback. Dot. What about dog? Okay, so dog is actually looking interesting to me now. It looks like our Bitcoin chart back here. Remember? Right here. I guess this is the structure of the day because a lot of these are popping up now, right? So boom, 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 boom. Look at that. Impulse, A, B, C, A, B, C. Build a little range, breakout, breakout. I mean, yeah, I think it looks good. At first we were looking at this as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, but it just didn't work out. You know what I mean? It was a B wave. B waves are always traps. A, B, C. We got our 3-wave move. And then not only that, but look at this. We're building a base, but not only are we building a base, but look at this. We have a 9. We're at a 9 on the bottom here. So I'm actually considering buying some dog today or maybe tomorrow. I'll see. I wish I would have gotten it over here, but that's okay. But yeah, you got an impulse, you got a 3-wave pullback. So dog is really, it's risky, but at the same time, this one could give you the biggest reward by a lot because it's so little and it's so brand new and it's on the Bitcoin network and it's got some bullish people around it, but it could be a major return, guys. And I think this is low risk down in here. So, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a 10, 15, 20x, I mean, this could be it easily. Yeah, I can easily get up to there, to that level. And from where we are now, that's about 11x. So that's a good deal to me. And maybe even higher than that. We'll see. But anyway, that'll do it for real this time. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you can hit the like, subscribe, remember, not financial advice. And I We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.